Hello everyone, welcome back once again. I do feel like you all are making a little bit of an error coming back here every single week, but, well, you've clearly made more than one or two bad decisions in your life, so it's probably not really out of the ordinary for you there, I suppose. Anyways, how are we all this evening? I have had, well, an interesting week, to say the least. Turns out there's a thing called Pop Rocks that you can buy in surprisingly bulk quantities. And they're water soluble, so they're relatively easy to get rid of, unless water happens to be the thing that you live in constantly every day of every week. So yeah, about 4 days ago, we got a nice little delivery over here at the well, which was heralded by a beeping sound, and then what sounded like lots of metal moving around, and then the next thing I knew, there was something of a hourglass effect, and lots of popping noises. I'll leave it to all of you to try and guess exactly what happened. But yes, someone delivered approximately 3 tons of pop rocks to the well. Direct delivery. I don't know which one of you it was, but I'm going to find your IP address and where you live. That hole is for much kinder things than this. Anyways, how have you all been? I have been literally climbing the wall because I couldn't stand on the water until it was no longer filled with pop rocks. But other than that, it's been a fairly decent week. Russell is once again out. The heatwave has in fact been broken, as I understand it, so consequently it's much nicer out there. Russell's very much enjoying his flight time. Very fun, very cooling, very refreshing, I'm sure. Couldn't say that for certain myself, but I'm gonna take a wild guess. Can't believe you got pranked. Well, I'm going to take the high road, which admittedly, when you're 80 feet underground, is not exactly the easiest of options to take, but I'm going to take the high road, and presume that the person that did it is a complete moron. Because if they did it with malice, oh boy did they pick the wrong fight. So we'll just believe that they're a complete and total buffoon, an ape, an idiot, a fool the likes of which we have yet to see on this particular broadcast, but nonetheless, that's what we'll assume. Otherwise, well, it's gonna get messy. What can I say? I mean, where do you think I keep finding blood? Actually, that's something of a trick question. I'm actually full of it, so quite a lot of blood, actually. I should look into that at some point. That's probably medically significant. Who knows? What do the apothecaries say these days? Or is being blood-free in vogue again? Or is it still is it still a situation where one prefers to have some volume of blood? Is there a measure on it? It's like how many liters of water to drink. Although I've heard tell now that humans are saying you should drink less water, and also eat less food, and also eat moldy food, which I have to say, it's been a while since we taught you agriculture, but I'm pretty sure that was lesson 1. Feels like there might be some chicanery going on there. You forgot I was on Twitter? I'm on Twitter? Oh, of course, yes, the Wellfox tag, which has been seeing a little bit of action recently, I have to say. Very happy to see that. We've had 2 pieces of fan art in there recently. One by Philo Hazard, which is one of the older members of the community. Lovely to see them about again. Very lovely. All the bleeding is internal where it's supposed to be. Well, I think some amount of bleeding is supposed to be internal, depending upon your physical makeup and whatnot, but generally speaking, bleeding internal is meant to be external. I think generally speaking, the definition of blood is that the definition of bleeding is that it should be external. Gets to be quite a problem if you end up developing a pneumothorax, or compartment syndrome, or crush syndrome. You know, the usual syndromes. But yes, how have you all been? Having a nice week? Enjoying your time? I have been scouring the steam pipes and tunnels of the nearby areas, trying to find some form of game that you all would enjoy, in much the same fashion as I believe you enjoyed the Aliens vs. Predator game. I'm very happy to announce I have in fact found something that I think you will definitely enjoy. It's a different genre to things we've played so far. It's not the usual kind of fare one might expect to find in a sealed well in the middle of a forest clearing, on the edge of town, but it should be fun. I think it's going to be entertaining indeed, but we'll just have to see how that goes. But yes, before I ramble on any further, I suppose let's just get right on into it and see how well this goes. So, our game for today is Hooked on You by Behavior, creators of Dead by Daylight. There's going to be some thirst, is my understanding of this, so lucky me, I'm constantly surrounded by water. I guess blood is also technically a liquid. That's helpful. Anyways, let's see how this goes, shall we? Let's see. Which name do we use? I don't think we should use Alonso Hernandez. That was the name of the last delivery guy. Maria Jeffson? No, that was just the one I used to avoid the CIA. Let's go with that. That'll do. It's only a bit of a groove for background music. Here we are. Now, I will give a quick advisory. Some elements of this game may include flashing imagery, which might be bad if you happen to have epilepsy. I don't know if it's going to warn me of those ahead of time, so if you suffer from epilepsy, you might want to watch this just sort of as background noise. Unfortunate, but not much else I can do about it. And it would be dreadfully unfortunate if my content caused another seizure. Anyways. You wake up on the beach, soaking wet, salt water stinging the inside of your throat as if you'd nearly drowned. At me next time. Water falls from your mouth as you open it to gasp for air. Okay, seriously? Really? We're starting out just by dragging me. I see. Okay. You have no memory of how you got here. In fact, you can only remember your own name, but not where you came from, or a single fact about your life. I mean, admittedly, it's been a very long time. I don't know off the top of my head exactly when the Age of Legends ended compared to now, but it was a while, suffice to say. I can tell you that much. What you do know is that despite the outrageous beauty of the landscape around you, you feel incredibly sick to your stomach. That would be the pop rocks, probably. Wow, really went down the wrong pipe, huh? You need a minute, or can I go on? Because I can give you a minute. We've got plenty of time. Endless time, really. I'm really feeling cold out here. This is... okay. An eternity, if you catch my drift. I get it. Jokes. Water jokes, yes. Pretty nice. Whoa, not now, Ocean. Sorry, lying. May I continue? Please, go on. Oh, so I'm voicing everything here, so I'm voicing the narrator and myself. Huh. Okay then. As I was... As I was saying... You look down at your feet, ankle deep in the crystal blue water of a newly arrived wave. Can we date the ocean? The ocean is now canonically sentient. Does that mean we can date the ocean? Actually, that sounds like a terrible idea. Let's not do that. As the water recedes back into the ocean, it reveals a grotesque discovery. Wilson? A decomposing face stares up at you from beneath the sand. All you can do is vomit, a stream of dark bile, bugs, worms, and other ick. Look, my diet down here is very limited. Questions race through your mind. Where are you? How did you get here? Who is behind this incredibly charming and well-spoken voice in your head? However, answers don't come easy. Your mind is completely blank, though I gather for most of you that may be entirely normal. What will you do? Well, it'd be rude just to leave it there. You brush the sand away from the half-buried human head embedded in the ground before you. Oh, gubbins. There is no body, just this head. As you pick it up, flakes of skin fall to the ground. The jaw falls open, revealing a gold coin sitting on the rotting tongue of this poor dead soul. Now, seriously, does no one remember the procedure? It's 2 coins over the eyes. Getting your hands dirty, I see. I like that. You're a take charge type. You examine the gold coin briefly, happily distracted from what has otherwise been an extremely confusing morning. The sun beats down on you, drying your clothes. You check your pockets, but they're empty. Plenty of room for a gold coin, you suppose, and so you deposit it. Why, that's a nice coin you've got there. What if you were to spend it right now? On, I guess the question would be on what? Do we pursue a savings approach, or are we just going to treat this like millennials and spend as soon as we get with no real certainty of saving in the future? What do we do with the marshmallow, chat? What do we think? Our shiny golden marshmallow. Eat it now, or wait for more? Your choice. You decide. Stealing from the dead? Technically speaking, you need to be living for it to be counting as theft. At best, we've just desecrated a corpse. So, it's fine. From a legal standpoint. From a moral standpoint, Who's to say? It could be one moment. I think some pop rocks went up my nose slightly an hour or two ago, and they're just about to. Right. Yes, that's still working on this. Well, let's save for the time being, shall we? No thanks. Look, I'm gonna level you here. That coin you found, it's mine. I dropped it yesterday and I've been looking all over for it. Dropped it. Into a dead person's mouth. Could you just give it back? Do I defy the narrator? This seems... Sure. No. Shh. Be that way then. Your mind doesn't have a chance to linger any longer in your current situation as you feel something soft bump into your foot. When you look down, you find a volleyball sitting in the sand next to you. Wilson! You stare down, frozen. A voice calls out from behind you. Little help, please? You turn around, and when you see what's waiting for you, your jaw just about hits the ground. Well. I'm really not dressed for this occasion right now, am I? Well, 4 gorgeous monsters stand halfway between you and a well-tended volleyball court. Each of them oozes with undead energy, a magical aura reaching out and penetrating you, via your eyes. Your heart begins to race, curiosity, fear, desire. You can't help but stare at these casually dressed, let's call them killers. I don't know, not to be judgmental, but that's just the energy they put out there. The vibe, if you will. So many competing feelings rush through your mind at once that you are completely paralyzed. Hello? There are weird days, and then there's this. All you can do is look down at the ball and back up with this monstrous lineup of, well, literal monsters. Sexy AF monsters, though. What do you do? I mean, we could continue with our abstinence, I suppose. Or... yeah, it'd be rude to keep it now, wouldn't it? It's clearly someone else's property now, and though they are undead, they are clearly possessing of legal rights, so... You swing your foot and awkwardly strike the volleyball, sending it bouncing across the sand towards Huntress. It doesn't make it all the way. Everyone stares at you, silently observing your unsportsmanlike shape. Hey! Look, there's not much opportunity for weightlifting down here, okay? Yoga's about the best I got. They must be wondering, have you ever even seen a volleyball before? Yes, 5 seconds ago. That's surely what I'm wondering right now. It's not a soccer ball. What a dork. You feel so awkward that you can barely see straight, but through the haze of your embarrassment, you catch Rafe looking at you from the corner of your eye. Huntress jogs the rest of the way to grab the volleyball, and they all turn and head back to the court. Alone, again, you look across the beach at these strange residents who casually bat a volleyball back and forth, happily ignoring your intrusion onto their private beach. Should you be frightened? Worried? Excited? I did refer to them as killers, not to give too much away. But at the same time, damn, they are looking very appealing in their own way. And nobody so much as lifted a blood-soaked finger in your direction. Yeah, they could have offered me something, surely. Don't be scared, lying. You were made for this. Well, geez, if the spooky ocean voice says not to be scared, I'm sure it's all going to work out. With no good reason not to, you decide to head over and see what happens next. Not particularly of my own accord, but simply because the plot demands it. Also, beefcake. It seems like you've derailed the volleyball game just by showing up. You derailed the game just by showing up, nitwit. And I guess you're also a nitwit. Look, it's best to just go with what Trapper says when he says it. That's a policy I hold for pretty much anyone who always seems to have fresh blood on their hands. Hey, don't worry about it. It's all just a game. Existence, that is. Besides, you seem a lot more interesting than a silly game. What's your deal? What brings you here? These accents will not be lasting for very long, but we will try to keep them somewhat consistent. You mean they're here to do more than just distract from my total domination? That was Rafe. That sigh means he was done with the game too. Either that, or he saw a butterfly or something. Look, I don't care why this Slugjoid moron is here. I just want to know, can I kill them or not? No, you can't. At least not yet. Oh yeah, not yet. Hey, Lang, you might want to, say something. Actually, never mind, there'll be plenty of time for that soon enough. Right now, this group has some questions for you. But be warned, answer quickly and answer well. This is a timed quiz, and it will be very important later. Very important. Or not important in any way whatsoever. Probably that one, I can't remember. How attractive would you say you are? Well, I'd say I'm very attractive. That's what you think very attractive is compared to this? Look, there are lots of different categories to be had. Trapper flexes and his muscles are so tight you can practically see the blood running through his veins, which probably means he's burned off all of his water weight and is very likely to keel over the next 5 minutes. It's not a healthy state. You see it for bodybuilders, but it's only for show. It's not great. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Of these lots, flights. For sure. Technically, I suppose I can fly. Honestly, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. As far as I go, I'm still not where I want to be. What was your best subject in school? Oh, assuredly history. History? Nice. It's important to know who came before so that we are not doomed to repeat humanity's mistakes. I mean, we will anyways, but still. What's your favorite animal? Oh, I would say raven, but of this selection, cat. Definitely a cat. What? Why is everyone looking at me? You think just because I'm the typical cute goth girl I have some specific love of all things cats, and more specifically black cats? Well, I do, but you can all go to hell anyway. What's your favorite color? Ooh. Oh, those are good options. Blue. Blue isn't good for productivity. It makes people want to be lazy. What's your dream job? Oh, Let's just let people come to me. If we get to do what we really want, why work at all? It takes a lot of courage to break free from society's expectations to climb the ladder. It helps when you're already ostracized to a clearing on the edge of the woods. Only she could spin laziness into some kind of grand crusade, these damned millennials. Best flavor of ice cream? Ooh, chocolate. Haven't had that in way too long. My favorite flavor is pain. Same. Same here. Mine is vanilla. Swirled with pain. I think mint chip is the greatest flavor I've ever conceived myself, but enough about ice cream, am I right? Hold on a second, this reminds me. I am right, always. It's a lesson you should learn before we go too much further. Do what I say if you want to survive. Pick mint chip. We're teaching lessons now, narrator? You rascal. Kill or be killed is the rule on this island, even for faceless voices. Tell me, what's the best flavor of ice cream? I Oh, nah, just kidding. You got a reading comprehension problem? I just told you mint chip was where it's at. You almost bought yourself a game over there, buddy. That's right. I can end your life whenever I want to. I'm in control, so don't you forget it. If I say you like mint chip, you like mint chip. Now try it again. Tell me, what's the best flavor of ice cream? Fine, for the sake of your ego. And just so I don't have to go through all these questions again. So obedient. I think you're gonna do just fine. Anywho, now that they know so much about you, I'm sure the group wants you to start getting to know them. I'm Trapper. I pretty much run things around here. I'm the smartest, richest, strongest person on this whole island, and I already hate you. Okay. Rich boy. Great. I don't like losers. If you don't know what a loser is, say hello to Rafe. Hi, I'm Rafe. I'm nothing like everyone else. Mostly because you're the only black guy here, but still. I like nice people and loathe big dumb idiots. Hey, what's up? I'm Spirit. I don't like most things. I don't really hate most things either, it's not worth my time, but things I do hate, I really hate, you know? Based on my personal observations, life is nothing but suffering, and society is a carefully calculated lie to keep everyone subservient to those in power. It's better just to choose not to take part. That's highly astute of you. Jeez, like she was downright murdered by society, she hates it so much. I mean... maybe I'm biased because I was sealed in a well for who knows how long by ancient deities and no one seems interested in remotely freeing me, but I can kinda relate. Oh, no, wait, I'm remembering Spirit's story now, and that's almost exactly what happened. Hey, I'm Huntress, and don't let those bombers get you down. This accent has gone completely bizarre, but nonetheless, there's lots of fun to be had on this island, along with lots of love. Yeah, there is, if you know what I mean. Grow up. Grow a body. I've explained this 1,000 times. I'm dead, but I'm not a literal ghost. I just create a trail of fog. I'm not made of it. Whatever, fog body. That's not nice. He's not nice. You love it. Only sometimes. Oh, really? That's disgusting. That's why she likes it. And don't speak for me. I also hate it. Stop speaking entirely, actually. For the first time ever, I agree with Rafe. Let's move on, otherwise they'll do this all day. Besides, if I know this crew, and I do, they'll want to show off soon enough. If we're done playing, let's do something else instead. Wow, for once I actually agree with the meathead. I say we go to my yacht. It's the massive boat. No, Christ, of course he has a yacht. It's the massive boat docked nearby. I'll give everyone a true taste of luxury and power. Sure you will, bud. Sure you will. Rafe rolls his eyes. Don't mind him, he just hates fun and happiness. No, I hate the endless, desperate, soul-crushing pursuit of wealth, the weights flaunted needlessly, and the cruelty it engenders. Okay, you and I, we can have a drink later. We were hanging out by the pool. I find the water calming, simple, beautiful. Hey, what about our volleyball game? We can exercise and have some fun as a group. Are you serious? That's a perfectly good lounge chair right there. I'm tired, and besides, I hate being in the sun. Where do you want to go? Well, I've been to the beach already. Currently at the volleyball court. No way in hell I'm setting foot on this douchebag's boat. It'd be great to relax for a second at the lounge. To kick up your feet, look out over the ocean and relax on your own terms. Who would want anything else? Dry, comfortable, enjoying a cool drink on a hot day, it's the best. That does sound very nice, actually. I mean, what kind of fool, what kind of monster, what kind of mask-wearing psychopath would finally be granted a break from the constant grind of chasing and fighting to get ahead, and then choose to exert themselves in, quite frankly, any way whatsoever? Why am I the only one who gets it? It's time to stop living by their rules. I won't do it any longer. Yeah, we should probably give her a second to calm down. Hold on. For just one moment. This is Dwight and Claudette, our activities coordinators. They're also the cooks, waiters, bartenders, janitors, and every other job. They're the only help remaining on the island. This place we call Murderers Island. Cue dramatic musical flourish. None of the others survived. Survived the interview process, I mean. Hence why we shall heretofore refer to them as survivors with a capital S. These two have worked here for a very long time. So very long, I don't actually know how long it's been. Oh, we can read to that narrator. Sorry. Anyway, I should probably let Dwight and Claudette do their mandated jobs. They sure look happy, but they're vibrating with a nervous energy that is starting to give me the creeps. Well, we will now escort the group to the venue of your choosing. However, in the future, we recommend waiting for us to present you with the options whenever possible, and don't just run off to various activities unsupervised. We don't have much autonomy around here. The least you can do is allow us to do our job. The most you could do is help us to get off the site. Dwight? Yes, pardon me. Please follow us. Hey, narrator? Yes, something I can help you with? These two, Claudette and Dwight, did they just start to mention something about wanting to escape? Is escape an option? Should I be trying to escape? Escape? Them? Oh, no, I think you're mistaken. It seemed like Dwight was asking for help to get off this island, though. Oh, right, that. Yes, that's true, he was. But he just meant that he wants to get to the other vacation island getaway. A couple miles south of here. It has a much fancier accommodation than this island. It's one of those big corporate outfits, quite exclusive, where all the famous celebrities hang out. Very luxurious. Doesn't quite have the charm that this island has, though. Trust me, you wouldn't want to go there. With all that money comes a lot of restrictions. This is where you belong. Now, off you go. It's time for an activity. On this island, your decisions matter. Mostly. When I agree with them. Not like that other island. So what'll it be? Bleh. Finally, freedom from the preposterous premise that the four of us would be engaged in some sort of thrilling 2-on-2 volleyball match. Yeah, there's definitely a height disadvantage here, for at least one side. Spirit looks at you from beneath her gigantic sun hat. She takes a conspiratorial tone. I don't know whose idea volleyball was in the first place, but I hate them. I tried to feign a sprained ankle, but everyone already knows that I technically float above the ground, so nobody believed I was even putting any pressure on my joints in the first place. Then I tried to annoy everyone by not giving a hootenanny, and when that didn't work, I tried whining, and when that didn't work, I threatened to kill every single person on this island. But it turns out I'm not the first to toss those kind of threats around on this island. So, thanks, I guess, for getting it called off. Madam, you may want to, adjust your posture slightly. This is quite a view. Are we threatening to end each other again? Now it's Dwight who takes on a conspiratorial tone, his eyes shifting as he slips into a loud whisper. Please, just make it quick. Is what you'll be saying when we get behind the bar to make you the drink of your dreams. Hilarious, right? Right, Dwight? Yeah, right. So, what will you be having? Ooh, I haven't had virgins in ages. That used to be a common thing. Ooh. Got plenty of rocks. Sangria, is that anything like blood? Vodka soda. No thank you, I prefer to taste my drinks. Blech. I didn't come to party, I'm just trying to make the best of a very strange situation. I don't know, how about a daiquiri? Oh, did I not pick a strong drink? Daiquiris are new. What does daiquiri mean? Is that Is that some... Oh. I don't know how to make that. But skip the liquor, I'll have mine virgin. Oh, that's what that means. I see. Right. Rats. Okay, well, I guess hand me the vodka next time. Trap or Snickers at your choice of words. Sure you will, kid. Don't mind him, we don't need to soak ourselves in booze just to please someone else's expectations. If you ask me, there's enough spirits here already. Besides, alcohol just numbs you to the painful realities of the world. I choose to face them head on. You'd never do something like, I don't know, hide from it all behind the world's largest hat or anything. Please allow me to ignore any fashion advice from the man wearing a doll's face as a mask. Not a doll's face, jerk. Since we've fulfilled your requests, it's time for you to return the favor. Oh, quid pro quo. I should have known that was a catch. Icebreaker time. I swear, had I known they'd pull this kind of faux enthusiastic community building stuff, I'd have suggested we attempted to walk to the lowest point of the ocean before I ever set foot in this bar. You don't think it could be a little fun? Never mind, I hate it, this sucks, but it could be fine, or whatever you say. Has anyone seen my hat? I've literally never seen him in a hat. If we must make small talk, I'm at least picking a topic before we end up being forced to do some lame improv game where nerds learn their non-sports after-school activities that I definitely never did because I'm no nerd. Methinks a certain someone doth protest too much. Oh, precious. Sitting here on this beautiful sunny afternoon, warm sand beneath the cool fog beneath my severed feet, the topic I choose is books. Novels, comics, fiction or none. Reading is the only real escape from the inescapable horror of life. The escape into your own mind. A groan rolls through the crowd. Not a lot of readers here, I'd imagine, based on that response. They were much more enthusiastic about drinking. Considering the situation we're in, it seems an appropriate time to ask you. Lion, what's your desert island book? The one book you'd bring with you if you were, well, on an island like this. Or, I guess, in a well like this. Oh, and it has to be a classic horror, for reasons that should be obvious. Ooh. She means because this is an island of horror villains and also those books are all in the public domain, and hence free of copyright. Nothing too modern, humanity has really gotten soft these past 100 years. I noticed that. Childhood obesity is really out of control. So what's your favorite? Oh, these are good choices. Ooh. I don't quite recognize both of these. I'm pretty sure this had a movie of Boris Karloff at one point. Definitely not this option, obviously. Also, I don't really get much reading material, so why, please, no. Give me book. There was a BBC series about this one. Dracula is one classic that's still scary. To be seduced by some beautiful stranger only to learn later on that they're an immortal villain, and also they have pointy teeth. It's downright thrilling. Well, I guess, but I was going to say that despite the deviant behavior of Dracula and the threat of possible danger or even death that he poses, you can't help but get turned on by the liberation from the status quo that he represents. Same here. Also, chill. So if some old doctor says he's a bad boy, you're supposed to reek like garlic and sleep alone? Who did they think would buy into that? If you're going to be trapped in the nightmare that is undead life eternal, which I know a little something about, you could do a lot worse than great clothes, a castle, and a lover who doesn't take anything from anyone. The scariest part of Dracula is thinking that it will ever be quite as interesting to make love to as a vampire. I don't know about that. Enough about these old stories that belong to someone else. I think it's time to make up some new stories of our own. Before you know what's going on, Huntress is waving an empty vodka bottle in the air, a devilish twinkle in her half-mask-covered air. The narrator has gone blind because that is clearly not an empty vodka bottle. Clearly. That's quite clearly a lumber axe. Might I suggest something a little naughty? Let's all get in a circle and spin this bad boy. Again, that's an axe. Oh. K-pop douchebag. Okay, hello. Great idea. Trickster, isn't it a bit late to introduce a new character? I thought I was the one who gets to make the rules, so I'm not sure who I'm asking. But I wasn't ready for this. Well, hello, and who is this new fan in the waiting? I hate you so much already. Beat it, heck. I don't know, what's the harm inviting one more person to join the circle for our game? I guess strictly speaking it does reduce the odds that it'll pick me. But, still. Also, can we point out that his bat is inflatable? Like, yeah, that Huntress gets a literal, actual axe. Spirit has a summonable sword. Trickster has an inflatable bat. That's how much of a dweeb he is. Oh, I can't stay. I was just saying it's a great idea, while also teasing the Trickster ending. I've got much, much better things to do than hang out here. I'm famous. Yeah, huh? Well, you're famous. He's rich. Match made in heaven. Leave me alone. Toodaloo. The rules are simple. First you spin, then you swap. Spit, that is. But let's be clear, this ain't a peep show. We're here to have a good time, but in a classy way. All makeouts will happen out of view of the public eye, real romantically. Yes, romance is the goal, so we'll all be waiting here in complete silence, trying to listen in and use our imaginations while you make out on the other side of the bar, but not watching. Like adults. Romantic, well-adjusted adults. Lying, you're up. Oh boy. Gripping the bottle in your hand, and putting your fate in the hands of the empty bottle gods. Minigames consist of two parts. On top, a pointer which rotates in a clockwise direction, and on the bottom, a target you're going to be pointing at. This here upcoming minigame is a special minigame, perfect for the less coordinated, because there is no winning or losing. Well, not technically. Whenever the pointer stops, that's your result. I suppose if it doesn't stop where you want it to, that's a bit like losing, but no one has to know if you don't tell them. Okay, ready to play, or would you like me to repeat that? I think I grasp the concept. I think. Trickster, he looks so bad. Oh dear. In fairness, he doesn't look much better in Dead by Daylight. Alrighty. Away we go. Spin the bottle and see who you're gonna smooch. Oh, got spirits. You two are meant to be. Psych, you have to actually spin multiple times to get your real result. First to get 3 times is your true match. That's how we play hardcore spin the bottle on this here island. Really? That seems extremely tedious, when the whole point of this is to be salacious. Oh well. Whoop. Got spirit, again. Trapper, ugh. No, please no. Huntress. Wraith. Huntress again. It keeps accelerating. Spirit. Spirit is your true match. Oh, good. Least objectionable. But also just not Trapper, please. Ooh. Just this morning, you were waking up on a strange beach, surrounded by strangers with murderous intent. Now, you're looking across a beach towel at Spirit, lust in her eyes, sweat glistening on her skin. Your heart races. You can feel your pulse pounding in your ears. That's probably medically significant. Spirit takes you by the hand and you sit face to face at a private section of the bar. She begins to reach for you, putting her hands on your shoulders. You're sweating, but not in the sexy way she is. You're sweating in the gross way you'd sweat at the interview for a job you're not even remotely qualified for. You don't know what to do. If you try and lock lips in this state, you might gross her out so completely that she'll never be able to look at you romantically again. Spirit, I have some bad news for you. I have something in my teeth, don't I? I think it might be seaweed. I have no idea how long I was in that ocean. Oh, and Nickmat has redeemed. Ah. No, well, maybe, but that's not what I was going to say. It's not happening. Not now, maybe not ever. If they think I'm going to make out with some stranger just because a bottle told me to, they've got another thing coming, and so do you, namely a katana into your heart if you even try to make a move under such absurd circumstances. I wasn't going to. Yeah, I know, you seem pretty harmless, and not all that bad to kiss if I were interested, which I'm not at this moment in time. Are we going to tell them we kissed? We are, I'm not above lying to get what I want. So that thing about me being not that bad to kiss, was that a lie to get me to play along? If you want to know the truth, figure it out for yourself, but don't expect this lie to just hand you gifts like me. All I was ever handed was pain and suffering. Treat me well, and I'll return the favor. Otherwise, try a different route and see what happens. I hate to break up such a passionate moment that we only assume was passionate because we'd never spy on you constantly while you stay on the island, but dinner is being served right away and we must insist that you join us. We wouldn't want anyone dying of starvation, when there are so many more interesting things to die from. Seems like the next activity is mealtime? How quaint. You were expecting, what, capture the flag? Do you know how complicated it is to run a game like that? Much more so than sitting and talking. You arrive at the cookout area to find an assortment of picnic tables scattered around. What were you expecting? Some kind of grand hall with huge banquet table? This ain't some prestigious fantasy epic like you'd find on cable. I mean, there's a mountain over there, we could easily do it. Dwight and Claudette usher you to your seat, but there's very limited seating directly around you. And oh, great. Terrific, it seems that everyone wants to sit next to you. Even better is that they don't want to sit next to certain other people either. To start, no one wants to sit next to Trapper. I can completely sympathize with that. Meanwhile, he refuses to sit next to Wraith or Trickster, who is back, apparently. Oh yeah, Trickster is here? Surprised? Yeah, well, they don't call him Expected Stir. I'm sorry, even I get nervous around crowds of killers, and my whole shtick gets a little flustered. Hey there, you're looking good, Lion. Real good. Well, nice of you to notice. And we literally can't let Huntress and Trapper sit together. No, seriously, their arms are too big, they can't fit the table if they sit side by side. Look at this, we can't even fit everyone on screen at the same time. You probably think it was an error, but it's not, it was completely intentional. Let that be a lesson to you, every error you think you see is a choice. Got that? Okay, Dwight and Claudette are directing traffic. You sit on one side, the rest of them will sit opposite you. Huntress and Trapper can sit at the ends with their enormous, sexy arms. Now that everyone is seated, we can begin dinner. Tonight's meal was prepared slowly and carefully, with both love and hate for 12 hours over a spit. We hope you all enjoy. We really, really hope you do. Hey, you didn't actually tell us what you're serving. What are we eating? It's meat, seasoned with a specific number of special herbs and spices that we simply can't divulge. My favorite. Meat is good. Love some meat. Meat is murder. Oh, I see. Which you'd know considering what you've been up to. Who are you to get judgy now? I'm just sharing facts, and you need to murder something to eat its meat, so that's like technically true. Technically true is the best kind of true. Okay, enough yapping, let's eat. Hey, lying. You thinking what I'm thinking? God, I hope not. It's gonna be a person on that spit, right? Or several parts of overlapping people, perhaps. I haven't seen many pigs wearing palm tree button-down prints, you know? When you look closely at the spit, you spot what definitely appears to be scraps of fabric sandwiched between some layers of meat. I think I might be sick. Is there anything else to eat? This took 12 hours. And we do literally everything on this island. Actually, there's one thing you're not doing today. You're not carving up this delectable meal. Well, he's right for a change, because I am with my broadaxe. It's the perfect tool for easily chopping anything in twain. I can certainly imagine. First, who says twain? Sometimes I swear it's like we're all from completely different historical eras. Second, I'll handle this with my cleaver. Fast, powerful, clean. Yeah, I bet you're fast. And it's clean when the meat is cooked. No blood. Ugh, you two and your ridiculous bicep swinging contest. Enough. Grow up. Obviously, my gorgeous katana is the only option. Obs. The hell it is. Or I'll show you both my katana and send you to actual hell if you'd like. Please stop, please. I hate when we fight, or talk, or even when we look at each other in the eye. I can do it. I have the skull of Aesop. Azeroth. Aesop's something else. Great. Instead of slicing it up, you can club it to a second death. Hey Lang, I know this isn't what you want to eat, but hurry up and volunteer to carve up Felix. I mean, dinner. Otherwise, this will go on for hours. No hyperbole. They once argued over who had the most effective weapons for 72 straight hours. I mean, strictly speaking, only one of these things is actually a weapon. And it doesn't matter which one does it. When they're done, they will take even longer cleaning their weapon, all while explaining the value in maintaining your tools. Despite it being a bunch of cold-blooded killers, for some reason they're always terrified of tetanus. Hey, why didn't you just let me carve up dinner? Splendid idea. We hate for it to get cold. He hated when it got cold. Here's a machete, freshly sharpened. Okay. Press the spacebar to stop the pointer over the well of the target. Okay, yes. This is a skill check. I see. Whew, close. Hey. Hey! Yeah. That was pretty good. I'd like to see what you could do with a less clumsy weapon. Yeah, I said it. Machetes are dumb. Dinner is finally served. For real. This sounds, especially coming from the masked killers while they eat, which involves lifting their masks and shoving food up behind them, are nasty. Spirit, meanwhile, doesn't even eat. She's the only one who seems to be really embracing being dead. They are all dead, right? This is obviously hell. I mean... Come on, we're still trying to be mysterious here. You think mystery comes easy? Claudette and Dwight aren't the only ones who've been working their butts off to make this night perfect. Well, at least they're lifting their masks. It's only 99% as disgusting as it would be if they just tried to smash stuff through there. Spirit, aren't you hungry? The two best things about being dead is not having to eat. That's only one thing. Think about it, lying. Number 2 is no number 2. One less thing to think about in the afterlife. Okay, so we know she doesn't poop. I don't know if that'll come in handy later, and I don't know that I want to find out if it'll come in handy later. Even if I wanted to eat, I have no idea what would actually follow. You may have noticed, but I'm mostly a bunch of dismembered body parts floating in a spectral form. Do you see how deep this cut on my abdomen is? I don't think my digestive tract connects anymore. Fascinating. Between the food and the behavior of the group, this might be the worst meal in history. I disagree. Dick Cheney is a person that's existed. But even worse is they're staring at you. You're not eating. They don't like that. I think they want an explanation of why. Why do you want to tell them? Seagull! Wow, you ever see a seagull that big? I haven't. That's incredible. Anyway, what were we talking about? Lame misdirect. Yeah, she's right, Lang. Pretty lame. You own who you are. Never compromise. Didn't you wash up on this alley with no memory of who you are and how you got here? Yes, you did, poor thing. You have no idea the last time you ate a real meal, and you've been standing in the sun. But this seagull... Oh, he just made a lot of good points. I swear. You're beginning to feel lightheaded. It waved at me. Maybe you need to eat to survive here. Either that, or someone poisoned you. No, wait, you haven't eaten, so you can't be poisoned. Whatever the answer, you're clearly about to pass out. Oh hey, it's me again. Your friend, mentor, and guide, narrator to the narrator of the ocean. Not sure how I feel about that characterization, but I'll allow it. I brought you here, and I might be the only one who can help you now. There's only one thing you must do to survive. You have to figure out why you're really here. No one can tell you, not unless you follow the right path, or at least a right path. There's too many of those to count. Hopefully you pick at least one of them. Because there are even more wrong paths. Many of them lead to your demise. Others lead to something even worse. Starting scene's over and having to fast forward back to where you were, am I right? For this place holds many secrets, even from itself. But the one that truly matters can only be learned if you answer the most important question. Why are you here? Why are you here? Answer that, and you'll learn the truth. The ultimate truth. Vague, mysterious. I gotta give it up to this ocean character. That's some quality early game storytelling. Hold on, I'm back. One more piece of advice. You've made many choices by now. Some of them I liked, some of them I did not. It's in your best interest to make more choices that I like. Ooh, vague threats. Yay. You wake up to find Spirit holding your limp body, gingerly pouring cool water into your mouth. Oh, thanks, I was very thirsty. Don't you just love the ocean at night? I do. Staring out over the vast darkness of the ocean really validates the feelings inside me that we're all truly insignificant and the only thing worth pursuing is revenge. I have to believe. I have to wonder, how could anyone believe anything else? You are literally surrounded by flowers and hearts right now. You look out into the darkness of night and ponder her question. Well, it's a simple question. How could they? How could anyone not feel small and alone in the face of such massive nothingness? I've literally been sealed in this well for centuries. Millennia, possibly. So... maybe it's Spirit's words, maybe it's the ocean, or maybe it has always been this way, but you suddenly feel connected to Spirit's words. I may not remember much about my life before, but there's only one thing I know to be true. I've always been alone. And I always will be alone. Spirit has turned from looking at the ocean and is looking directly at you now. It's a funny idea, isn't it? Being alone. Together? It's the best we can hope for. Maybe. Or maybe it's too much to hope for. Maybe it's impossible to pretend we know anything. Is that just arrogance? Ugh, I was so dumb, so busy trying to please everyone and be the perfect student, the perfect employee, the perfect daughter, I didn't care of myself. And now I'm all I've got. Worst of all, I got distracted from my true purpose, my destiny, the purpose that was sitting inside me my whole life. Okay, so, this might sound a bit silly, but... Spirit looks around to see if there's anyone else on the beach. When she's convinced that it's only you two, she continues. There's a dragon that lives inside of me. I've always known, but I've tried to ignore it. When I couldn't ignore it, I tried to push it down. I'm so stupid. You're not stupid. That sounds awesome. Right? But I didn't let it out, and then I, you know, chop chop, and now that dragon is pretty much a one-track revenge beast. But enough about me. What's inside of you, stranger? I mean, there is literal fire involved, but it's not inside of me quite so much. It is mostly ink black. We'll get that. I'd kill to have a dragon. Maybe not the best choice of words. I mean, a dragon sounds awesome. Honestly though, I don't feel like I've got anything inside me at all. Just darkness, never-ending darkness. That lasts pretty much forever until somebody scoots that cover over. And here I thought Spirit was the biggest golf on the island until you arrived. Hey! Look, there are limited options. There is only so far that I can adjust these to make any kind of non-cringy sense. And so what if I'm cringe? You're cringe. Perhaps I could light a torch and search through that darkness. Are you suggesting that we shove a flaming torch up me? Well, it'll be an interesting evening, that's for sure. Just as things are really heating up, you hear a flurry of footsteps behind you and you quickly spin around, ready to fend off whatever new danger has popped up on this strange island. Only to find out that it's Dwight and Claudette sprinting across the beach, clipboards in hand, which they're waving in the air above their heads. It's very important that we stick to the itinerary, and attend each event as scheduled. Playing sick for cute flirt points was not a part of this evening's activities. That's strictly slotted in for after campfire story time. At this rate, we'll be late. Playing sick? No, no time for excuses. Well, there is, but that's scheduled for after what comes after the flirting. Oh. Oh, I get the joke. Once everyone has gathered at the fire pit, Dwight and Claudette quickly make an announcement. We're not going to blame anyone in particular, but someone, and we're not going to say who, so don't worry, you, hasn't been sticking to the schedule. That means that we're behind on time for evening activities. And we'll only have time for one person to share their special spooky nighttime story. Just one story? But story time is my favorite activity. This is a narrative-heavy experience. You're telling us that only one person gets to share? How will we decide who? Accent completely gone for that sentence. Oh great, we have to decide as a group? That never goes well. Whoever did this, step up now. I swear I won't be angry. I'll merely chop your head clean off. No fuss, no muss. I have to use a softer voice for him because my throat can't deal with his existence for much longer. Oi. Hey. Voice trembling, you realize this is probably it for you, but you embrace your fate. Sorry, everyone, I think they're talking about me. To be honest, I still don't understand how this whole schedule thing works. I guess I lost track of time while I was passed out? Been there before, even though it's taking some pressure off me, which is an absolute dream come true. Is it really fair to pick on the newbie? Seriously, has anything here ever happened on schedule even once? Damn it, Donald, if you try to flex that authority gimmick one more time, so help me, I'll snap your head off so quick and I'll drown you in his blood, Cynthia. Fuss and muss are back on. You two know I love to hack, slash, and slice. We all know you love to kill, it's almost all you talk about. Yeah. Nobody named any names, who even knows any names? Not us. I renounce my name. Who's Donald? Who's Dwight? Who even knows anymore? Call me nobody. Okay, Odysseus. But we still gotta stick. I see what you did there. Okay. But we still gotta get started on story time. So, Line, who do you think you should go? Ah, damn it, that's a name. Please, pick somebody quickly so this tropical vacation doesn't turn into a bloodbath. I mean, I'm not entirely certain that my decisions will change that. Don't want to hear from you. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it involves an axe. You seem about as awkward as ever, and you never want to pick the person who actively wants to tell a story. So, bleh. I choose you, Spirit! This entire experience is being carefully crafted to avoid an IP infringement lawsuit. Let's be careful with the catchphrases, will you? I mean, fair. Really? You want to hear from me? Spirit huffs and dramatically rolls her eyes as she gets to her feet in front of the campfire. Don't let her talk you out of it, she's great with ghost stories. Ooh! My favorite. I don't know where she gets it, but she comes up with the scariest stuff. Seriously disturbing, even to me, and I literally pulled a guy's skull and spine out once with my bare hands, and he used it to beat people to death with. Talk about BS stories. If everyone else is gonna chit-chat, I guess I can just sit down and... Huntress's eyes go red behind her mask, and both Trapper and Rafe take their seat. They know when it's worth fighting, and when it's not. Ahem. Well, I hate to break it to you, but tonight's story isn't scary. It's a romance. Too late now, though. I was selected, and so I'm going to tell my story. I call it The Prisoner's Kiss. You notice that Huntress and Rafe are both sharing a giant tub of popcorn. Nobody offered you popcorn. Nobody had popcorn until 5 seconds ago. Where did it come from? It was a dark summer night. Warm rain seeped from the sky like blood from an old wound. Detective Hara, a celebrated investigator and renowned hostage negotiator, was called to the scene of a strange occurrence, unlike anything she had ever seen before. When she arrived, the scene was chaotic. Crowds had begun to gather. A dozen other officers were doing everything they could to keep curious onlookers away. But how could anyone resist wanting to know more? For there, in the middle of a busy market, had appeared a giant box. Blue with a light on top, strange, alien in its appearance, and massive in size, with the words "Police Box" on the side. No one knew how it got there. Was it delivered? Built on site? In such a busy area, how could something like this just appear? A mystery. It was as if it was conjured by magic. But this was no illusion. The huge box was very real, and someone was trapped inside. A doctor. Spirit pauses her story to look from face to face of each audience member. She has no expression, but you feel her vibrating with energy. She is in her element. "Help me!" cried someone inside the box. It was a man, terrified, trapped, imprisoned, his voice trembling. By now it was as if every detective in the city was there, looking this strange structure up and down, inspecting it on every side. It didn't make sense. There were no doors, no windows, no fasteners or seams. It was completely solid, and much too heavy to move by hand. Solid, that is, except for a single small slit, just enough to see the bloodshot eyes of the prisoner trapped inside. "I don't know what happened. I woke up and here I was. I'm so scared. Please help me," cried the man, as if pleading for his life. No stranger to tense situations, Detective Hara comforted the man. She used her training to calm him and buy time for the other investigators. However, time did not bring clarity, only anxiety, as the night dragged on with no progress opening the box. And as the night grew longer, the seeping rain puddling on the ground, the man inside grew more desperate, more sad and lonely, more pathetic and in need of help. But Detective Hara was no help at all. Powerless to save him, guilt began to weigh on her, like it never had before. "Don't let me die in here," the man begged. "Don't let me die alone." "Stay calm," instructed Detective Hara. "You're not alone. I'm here. Hell, half the town is here. We're all in this together, and we won't let this be the end of your story." Looking through that narrowest of passageways, Detective Hara watched her own reflection in the tear-filled eyes of his strange, sad prisoner. Together, they both wept in silence at the hopelessness of the moment. "Promise?" asked the man. "Promise that I'm not alone?" "Yes," she promised, "I do." A simple pledge. She felt an instant connection like she had never felt before, not to her family, not to her friends, not to any of the other hostages she had worked so hard to free before. And so, when the man's eyes closed and backed away, it didn't scare Detective Hara, for she knew he'd return, and he did, pressing his lips up to the narrow slit in his horrible puzzle box, repeating his question again, steam flowing from his mouth as he asked, "Promise? Promise that I'm not alone?" Yes, she promised, I do. And pressing her palms against the cold outside the box without truly knowing why, Detective Otter leaned forward and placed her own lips up to the opening, letting her breath creep into this strange structure, allowing her warm lips to fall on this man's. It was a gentle kiss, a moment of compassion. She could feel in this brief contact the beating of her heart, pulsing blood through every inch of her body, matched beat for beat in this soft touch. "Thank you," said the man, no trace of fear remaining in his voice, and he backed away into the darkness, disappearing in a single moment of eerie calmness. "Get back!" yelled an officer, suddenly thrusting himself between Detective Otter and the box, breaking a silence that would soon be filmed by a cacophony of whirring gears and clicking latches, a symphony of mechanical activity happening all at once. Something had triggered as if an unseen lever pulled and the side of the giant box began to slide open. Detective Otter gripped her flashlight tightly and pushed forward into the foggy interior of the giant box. Her feet splashed in the puddled rainwater, her heart racing as she swept her light from side to side. And that's when her eyes landed on the man, or at least landed on what should have been him. There, in the corner of the box, was a pile of pieces, like parts of doll almost pulled apart, or perhaps that's just how Detective Otter had to think of him in that moment to survive. A collection of segments, limbs, pieces, Legos, disconnected from one another, cleanly severed, and placed in a neat little pile. And atop that pile, a head, cold, pale, eyes open, lips an icy blue. Spirit stares at the fire, her own expression lifeless, her lips blue. Tears fall from her chin and soak into the sand at her feet. You're blown away by the story, but it's safe to say you're not alone. Everyone else is looking into the fire or up at the sky, anywhere but at Spirit. It was you who chose her, you who initiated this harrowing tale. So sad, so creepy, so sensual. She really went into great detail when it came to describing that kiss. Too much detail, and now no one is sure to act. Dwight and Claudette are staring daggers at you, you have to do something. This game was supposed to be a light-hearted romp. Please, I said do something. Comfort, I guess? I don't know, not in this crowd, that's not gonna work. That will surely get me murdered, I think. You stand and without saying anything approach Spirit, reaching your arms around her for a hug. Her robe, hovering in the air, begins to wrap itself around you and squeeze you into her. It's kind of like being hugged back, but also like being tied up. It's certainly not what you expected. Instinctually, you pull yourself away, but it's an awkward moment and you nearly fall over into the fire. Spirit says nothing and floats away without so much as a goodbye. You, meanwhile, realize everyone had just watched this truly strange interaction from the corners of their eyes. On that note, everyone decides it's time to take a break and split up a little bit so that they can all have a moment alone before bed. Everyone leaves, and you're alone by the fire. The only thing you hear is the ocean slowly lapping against the shore. This is nice. A true moment of peace and tranquility that lasts for all of 7 seconds because Trickster shows up and he's blaring his latest song. Great. "Hey baby, you look lonely, mind if I join you?" He doesn't wait for an answer. "I know you've been hearing from these guppies all day, but I want you to hear something from a big fish like me, something special those in charge of this island don't want you to hear. I am the ultimate catch on this island, the only lobster in an ocean of sardines. No one can give you what I can, a migraine. You just have to find me. Come find me, baby." Trickster leaves. You're a bit confused about what to make of his cryptic clues, but you aren't going to get any time yourself to think about them just yet. Spirit approaches you. "You know, I was watching you while I told my story. I could tell it was having an effect on you. This fog that follows me around, I could feel you breathing heavily, taking me in. You and I are both absolutely flabbergasted at that piece of information. Legit, you learn something new every day, even when you're a god. I mean, a narrator. You're doing it again right now. You need to calm down. You should come to the hot tub with me. Yes, because that will make me breathe much slower. Dipping in hot tubs with the spirits? You've come a long way in a single day. I'm not saying you shouldn't follow her, an offer like that. Just don't forget our little talk. You and your storyteller friends slip into the water. It's just the right temperature for an evening dip. Plus, if some jealous shark comes along and manages to jump from the ocean into the pool, you're also pretty sure your killer companion could handle it. I just want to be totally clear, even though that story bore some similarities to my life, it was not about me in any way, shape, or form. Not symbolically, not metaphorically, not any other ickily. I believe you completely, sure. You were cut into some pieces in your life, and so is the person in the story. A perfectly normal coincidence. Sure, you're on this island trapped, one might say, in a most puzzling place. Also a completely regular coincidence. And sure, his lips were blue, your lips were blue. Really? You'd call this blue? Searching for answers, hoping to find. Revenge. Okay, so the similarities stop there, I guess. Coincidences. Sorry, the coincidences. Get this through your head, whoever you are. Samurai blood runs through my veins, or, well, maybe it has coagulated by now. No need to sweat the details. Regardless, I am a descendant of noble warriors. Thousands of years of training with blade weapons preceded my entrance into this world. Do you know how many swords that is? A lot. You've got to figure that with that many sharp edges, a person is bound to get disconnected from the body part here and there. The truth is, and I wouldn't typically share this, so don't go blabbing it about, I dreamt that story. Like watching a movie in my sleep when I was just a little girl, years before my father sunk his blade into my skin. That's a very adult story for a child to dream. Do you believe me? Sure. I guess the real question here is, does it matter? Like, it's your dream. And for that matter, who even cares what I think? Our beliefs are our business, no one else's. Well, I'll be. That's a strong take. You better cultivate your own garden. I just admire you, Lang. You're not offering up your thoughts or opinions simply to feed the curiosity of others like some of the more desperate residents of our little paradise. Good for you, I say. Now, you've got me wondering. Do I believe you if you believe her or not? And if I know everything, because trust me, I do know everything, don't I already know the answer to my own question about if I believe your answer to the spirit's question? Whoa. Ocean air got me tripping. Sorry, didn't mean to distract us both. What's important is that a certain corpse cutie floating in a cloud of magical mist might still be waiting for you to say the right thing and free her from her puzzle box if you believe that she is the... Damn, it got me going again. Unfortunately, before you can follow this conundrum to what will surely be a mind-numbing cycle of new questions, you find a certain two someones standing before you with a fresh towel, ready to dry you off. Sorry kids, but it's time for bed. I might be the youngest one here, but I'm no kid. I do, however, love being wrapped up in a fresh, clean towel. My mother used to help me wash my hair when I was young. She'd comb out all the tangles and tie a ribbon around it before sending me on my way. I miss her. You watch as Spirit stares off into the distance, her hand gripping into a tight fist. She doesn't notice you're watching her, at first. When she catches you looking, she turns away, roughly grabs a towel from Dwight and then pushes him and Claudette aside as she floats off. You head over to the campfire. The heat is comforting on this chilly night. Looking into the crackling embers, you think about Spirit's story about the prisoner in the puzzle box. If you manage to escape this place, will you leave with your life? Or has it already been taken from you? It's just a matter of time until you make a gruesome discovery. Before you can dwell too much on your fate, Claudette and Dwight arrive, their now familiar creepy smiles stretching from ear to ear. It's a bit menacing to see a smile like that lit by firelight. We must apologize for the accommodations. We weren't prepared for another guest, but we're going to make you comfortable, or die trying. They hand over a pillow and a blanket, and welcome you to snuggle up by the fire. Perhaps some music will put you at ease? Just try to keep the volume to a minimum. Our other guests aren't the types you'll want to rob of their beauty sleep. Oh boy, here we go again. As you relax and look into the fire, the radio begins to fuzz and flicker. You examine it and decide that you might adjust the dial and fix it. Oh hell. Let's see what's on this station. I mean, it's not a bad jam. No matter how many things you listen to, you still can't sleep. You decide to ask him what the killer wants to spend a little more time with you until you're sleepier. Who would you like to summon to your side as you lay by the fire? Currently the one least likely to murder me, I think. Not zero, but least. Spirits, are you around? I was wondering if I could get a little company. Spirit tells you her secret of falling asleep when she's feeling restless. I like to listen to flute music, dab on some essential oils, and steam my pores. Really? What, even the dead like to relax? I don't really have any of those things around. Spirit reaches out and presents you with a unique item. It's a small comb, carved from bamboo. I guess you could hold on to this. It was a gift from my mother. I will want it back though, and if you lose it, well, you'll get your revenge on me. If it's the last thing I do. You finally start to feel sleepy. Except maybe this isn't really a sleepy feeling. Maybe you're paralyzed. You try to keep your eyes open, but you can't. Darkness overtakes you. The dog voice from earlier speaks to you again. It shouldn't still be as spooky, but now you've had a whole day of strange voices in your head, and this one is still undeniably odd. The human body is made up of 60% water. Did you know that? Of course you did, everyone knows that, even amnesiac video game protagonists. Well, guess what? Drink as much as you'd like, you'll never get to 100%. You hear me? Don't think I don't see what you're up to. You awake suddenly to see someone looming over you. Trapper is sitting beside you, sketching a portrait. Oh, you're awake. I saw you with the spirit right before bedtime. You should know, they're not what they seem, not like me, who is obviously completely honest and trustworthy. I was out checking to make sure you weren't sleeping near one of my... Actually, never mind, just be careful where you sit. But since I'm here, I'd like to share two things with you. One, I do not take rejection well. Two, the first thing is very important to remember. Were you drawing me? Because I do have I have a tag on Twitter for that. Trapper doesn't answer. You aren't drawing stinklands radiating out from me, are you? Still nothing from Trapper. Look, I'm not an easy guy to get along with, but I'm an easy guy to spend time with. Disagree. That will make sense if you choose to spend time with me tomorrow. The rest of this scum live like rats. They would know a good time if it bit them on the butt. I mean that literally. Point is, if you select me, you're in for a day of luxury, extravagance, and fun. Yes, I said fun. And if I don't pick you, remember what I said earlier, or it might be the last thing you ever forget. But hey, you look tired. Get some sleep. Rest. Maybe even sleep well if you can. Just try not to roll over to the about 15 feet to your left. Finally alone, for real this time, maybe, you're taught to sleep again. Hopefully, you're not poisoned. Wait a second, where are we? This isn't... Oh jeez, it is. It's one of those reality show confessional rooms where all of the contestants talk directly to the camera. Can you blame me for not getting along well with others? I mean, I haven't had a real conversation with anyone since I was a child. I tell you the fact that I haven't slaughtered the newcomer for their meat yet doesn't win. They look pretty tasty though, so who knows what'll happen tomorrow. Hey Dwight, do we have tarragon on this island? Look, I'm always full of rage. The key is knowing how to control your rage so you can use it. I'm a master of self-control, and right now I'm using all the self-control I can muster because today was a disaster. Let's just say I didn't love it. That was funny. Laugh. I said laugh. Damn it. Anyway, I'm planning to kill this idiot. Don't tell them though. I want to lead them on a little more. It'll make it that much better from when they're screaming. I'm not really sure how to feel about lying. On one hand, everyone I've ever cared about has been an awful fate, so it's probably good for lying if they just keep ignoring me. On the other hand, there's something about them that maybe could work out for my plan. For me. I know that everyone thinks of me as a beautiful cold-blooded monster. I can't help it, circulation just isn't my thing. I don't choose to be cold. This cute hat and robe, okay, those are a choice, sure. If someone were to come around and capture my heart, at least that beats being stabbed in it. Besides, if I'm gonna get bloody revenge on a society that's used me and thrown me away, maybe it wouldn't hurt to have a little help. And I believe this is the start of day 2, so we're gonna take a short break because I have been talking near continuously for almost 2 hours, and my throat could use a slight break. Well, just pour some liquid on it and whatnot. So, we'll be back shortly, everybody. Right. I'm dreadfully sorry, everyone, but I believe I'm actually going to have to call the stream early. It's been a fairly rough few days for me, pain-wise, and right now it is quite excruciating, and I'm definitely struggling to walk, so I should probably go relax a bit, I'm afraid. But I have nonetheless saved our progress, so we can come back to this next week, right where we left off at the start of day 2, and continue with whatever we seem to be doing. It seems like we're going for a spirit run, I think, at this point, but we'll see exactly where it lands and whatnot. And hopefully we can finish the whole thing in that next stream. But meanwhile, yeah, a lot of pain at this exact moment, so I'm gonna go take some painkillers and see what happens, really. Otherwise, I remind you that streams like these pay for my medication. Different medication, non-pain medication, because I'm not prescribed literally anything for my pain. So, yeah. But, you know, titty skittles, you can pay for that. And we are actually exceedingly close to our goal for this month. That's about £15 off. But, yeah, also, next stream should hopefully be tomorrow at 9 o'clock. That'll be the carousel with the patrons playing some random games and whatnot. And then on Tuesday we have some more building blocks as we continue on with the behavior tree project, which is really fun. I'm enjoying that quite a lot. Lucian and I will most likely be doing something new and weird and probably still Space Engineers because we're nerds on the Thursday, and we'll be back for this on the Friday. Meanwhile, any videos I make are over at youtube.com/lyingtube, and everything I do is powered by you at patreon.com/lying. Hope you've all enjoyed. Apologies for the slightly short stream, and I'll catch you all as ever next time. Stay afraid.